I don't think you could make that sort of film again. Number one, I don't think the authorities had let us do what we did.
So you can take a picture like Mad Max and you see the film that is shot like with real cars on real roads by, like that are going at that speed, and you know that you can't fake it.
But I remember real early on, it was going, this is 100 mile an hour stuff, and we're mucking around, which that made me even more excited.
The stunts are real, and I think no one got fooled. Everybody realized those guys are doing it.
I don't consider myself a great stunt man. I never did, but a good driver. So, and that's what I loved doing, was driving fast.
They fire the shotgun, and then there's a handbrake turn, and I'm hanging out the back window, holding the camera, doing a high-speed handbrake turn, and the G-force on that was fairly exhilarating.
When we came in the Night Rider's car, Vince Gill was actually at the wheel, but I was between the seats down like this, with my hands under here and my feet down there, and we actually did that in that position like that.
And after every take, I'd sort of, Grandad poke his head up. He says, "He's okay. He's doing it right." And I said to Vince, "Why don't you like driving?" He said, "Oh, just too dangerous." And here he is playing the Night Rider.
We'd taken all of the weight out of the bottom of the bongo van, so there was no engine, no gearbox, everything was lightweight. But on the roof, it was supposed to be a painter's van, and they wouldn't let us drop paint on the road, so there was, I think, 200 gallons of milk on the roof, because that was easier to clean up. And that put the weight there, so when the impact happened, the bongo spun out from underneath.
That was George's personal car for the entire shoot.
Indeed, it was a bongo van, but it wasn't George's.
That was the bongo van that he'd been using to do his locums in.
No, that was a dummy from a wrecking yard with no motor in it, nothing, because there's no way George's precious bongo van would be put in a stunt.
Well, it was the only asset I had. It was the only thing I owned, and I think I borrowed money to buy it, but it was just, we needed it to get around. So it was my bongo van setting up the sequence, the two shots beforehand, but it was a shell of a vehicle without an engine, meant to look like my bongo van when it was hit. So I didn't actually lose my bongo van there.
It was an El Cheapo movie. You see what happened to the caravan.
For the entire shoot, that was the only protection everybody had. So it was the makeup and wardrobe, caravan.
It was a terrible old thing, I mean, 'cause, it was tatty, and every time somebody walked in it, you'd poke somebody's eye out.
Byrne explained to me the scene that they wanted, so he said, I'd like you to sort of look at it and then take out all the structural parts that could cause any sort of too much damage, so that when the car hit it, it had to be able to just shatter.
So they took all the cupboards and stoves and fridges and all the stuff out, so it was just an empty shell.
We took the left-hand side of the caravan out, and it was all shot from the other side. And then John Lee, the actor who was playing the man with the busted windpipe, and myself spent time the day before sneaking pieces of wood from the old cattle yard in the paddock beside where we were doing it, and building up this ramp out of anything we could find. That was where we were with budgets at the time.
And then I got about a dozen boxes of cornflakes, took the liner out of with the cornflakes out of the cardboard, stapled those to the wall that the car was going to come through, which we'd scored heavily with knives, and then put some lightweight shelves on there with little things like plastic crockery, alarm clocks, lace curtains.
when we were putting things inside the caravan that the car could hit and debris to carry out the other side, we were hanging things on threads so they'd hit certain parts of the car to get bounced out like a billiard shot.
That was one of the most satisfying breakaways I've ever done. Just clouds of what looks like timber particles, but they're actually cornflakes, and a curtain that actually attached itself to the car. It worked brilliantly.